These are the reproductive system of a male animal.
The first part of the system is spermatic cord. The spermatic cord main function is to connect the body to the testes. The spermatic cord is also responsible for holding the cremaster muscle and the pampiniform plexus. The scrotum is the thermosensor and responsible for sensing the temperatures that are affecting the testes when the male experiences elevated body temperature or elevated scrotal temperatures. The hypothalamus detects this change and sends nerve impulses to the sweat glands. The sweating vein allows the scrotum to be cooled by evaporative heat transfer. Therefore, the scrotum is also known as the swamp cooler because it is heavily populated with sweat glands and it is effective at conducting heat away from the testes by evaporative heat transfer. The last function of scrotum is to act as a protective sac. This sac keeps the testes safe from injury. It is also raises and lowers the testes depending on body temperature. So when an animal is hot, the scrotum is lowered, allowing the testes to move further from the body. The testis is the main reproductive organ. It's a paired, or meaning that there are two of them within the male species. Within the testes, we have the production of spermatozoa or sperm cells, hormones and proteins, and various fluids. The fluids that are produced within the testes serve as a vehicle in which spermatozoa are suspended and facilitates the removal of testes. It's not the fluid that we see in the ejaculate. The seminal fluid is produced by accessory sex glands, not by the testis itself. The excurrent duct system is the final stage for maturation, storage, and delivery of the sperm. The excurrent duct system consists of efferent duct, the epididymal duct, and the ductus deferens. The efferent duct is a tube that connects the testis to the epididymal ducts, and it conveys newly formed spermatozoa and fluid into the epididymal duct. The epididymal duct or the epididymis is responsible for final maturation of the sperm and ultimately storage of the sperm. The ductus deferens is the tube that carries the mature sperm from the epididymal ducts out through the urethra for insemination. Accessory sex glands is responsible for production of liquid portion of semen. It is not required for fertility, but it is important for natural insemination. The fluid acts as a vehicle for sperm delivery. The penis is the copulatory organ of male, and it is composed of three parts: the base, the shaft, and the glans penis. The base is the attachment point, or the point where the penis attaches to the animal's body. The shaft is the main portion. It is the long stem portion of the penis. The glans is the specialized end or the tip of the penis that is responsible for excitation and ejaculation. It is the stimulation of the glans penis that is the primary factor initiating the mechanism of ejaculation.
I am going to discuss the bore anatomy and physiology. The male reproductive tract of a boar is supported by the pelvis and is housed internally in the abdomen and outside the abdominal cavity in the region of the groin. The testes of the boar are paired and produce sperm and hormones. Unlike most other species, the boar testes are anatomically upside down. This means the sperm that are produced leave the testes from the bottom, move up, and they are stored near the top of the testicle. Sperm cells are produced only within the seminiferous tubules of the testes. Sperm production occurs along the entire length of these highly convoluted and densely packed tubes within the testes. Of the separate sperm-producing tubes, however, eventually converge into a single collection tube in the center of the testicle. A central sperm collection tube exits the boar testicle at the bottom of the and enters the storage and maturation tube called the epididymis. This tube is tightly adhered to the outside of the testicle. The epididymis is highly coiled and when laid out end to end is over 189 feet in length. The testicles are contained within the pouch called the scrotum. This serves the important functions of protection and temperature regulation. Unlike some other species, the scrotum of the boar is not well defined since it is not pendulous and remains rather close to the body wall. The testes are connected to the internal components of the male reproductive system by a cord-like attachment, and this connection is called the spermatic cord and passes through a small opening of the abdominal wall called the inguinal canal. The spermatic cord serves as a passageway for blood, vessels, and nerves, which allows entry and exit for substances necessary to sustain cell life and support hormones for reproductive regulation. The cord also contains the blood, nervous and muscular system involved with the temperature regulation and movement of the sperm out of the epididymis. The vas deferens leaves the testicle to become part of the spermatic cord and pass through the inguinal canal and enter into the abdomen.
Good morning, sir. My topic is all about the male function of the stallion. First, the testes. These primary organs have the dual function of producing sperm cells and also the male hormone testosterone. The testis is enclosed in the tunica albuginea, surrounded by another tough tunic, the tunica vaginalis. The semiferius tubulus are the site of sperm formation. This in turn empty into collecting ducts. The right testis lined with cuboidal epithelium. The supporting connective tissue joined centrally forming a fibrous called the mediastinum testis. Second, the secondary sex organ. The secondary sex organs are the ducts and tubes which convey the sperm cells out of the testes and eventually out of the body. They are listed in order in which sperm pass through them. Next, the vas efferentia. The vas efferentia ductily efferents, about 12 ducts, arising from the right testis, emerging from the testis and emptying into epididymis. Epididymis, a large tortuous ducts outside the testis through which the sperm migrate. Slowly it is divided into the head, body, and tail. The tail portion is the chief site of sperm storage. Next, the vas deferens. The vas deferens ductus deferens, a slender tube connecting the epididymis with the urethra and which enlarges into an apula just before joining the urethra, often called vas deferens when cut vasectomy. Urethra, the tube in the penis through which semen is discharged at the time of copulation and through which urine is exerted. Penis, the organ of copulation. Next, the accessory sex glands. Two seminal vesicles contribute fluid to semen. Two urethral glands, copper glands, contribute fluid to semen. One prostate glands contribute fluid to semen, protective, supporting, and other structures. Scrotum, the pouch of skin surrounding and protecting the testes. External cremaster and tunica dartos muscles are regulate temperature of the testes by moving them closer to or farther away the body wall. Spermatic cord contains blood vessels, nerves, vas deferens, and muscles associated with the testes include the paniform plexus.
Now we move on to the male reproductive system of a goat. There are 12 different parts in the male reproductive system of a goat. First is the ampulla. The ampulla acts as a storage chamber for the semen and contributes secretion to it. The yellow secretion of the ampulla includes ergothioneine, a substance that reduces chemical compounds, a fructose, a sugar, and a nutrient. Both secretion moisten the sperm and help to keep them viable. Next is the bladder. The bladder is an organ of the urinary system. It plays two main roles: temporary storage of urine. The bladder is a hollow organ with descendable walls. It has a folded internal lining known as rugae, which allows it to accommodate up to 400 to 600 ml of urine in healthy adults. Next is the penis. The function of the penis is to provide a means of urination and sexual function. The penis contains the penile urethra, that is a tube that transports urine and semen out of the tip of the penis. In addition, the penis functions by filling with blood during an erection to enable penetrative sexual intercourse. Next is the urethra. The male urethra connects the urinary bladder to the penis. Once the bladder becomes full, urine flows through the urethra and leaves the body at the urethral meatus, which is located at the tip of the penis. The urethra is more than just a urinary duct. It also serves as a conduit for semen and sperm during sexual acts. Next is the prepuce. The prepuce is a specialized junctional mucocutaneous tissue which marks the boundary between mucosa and skin. It is similar to the eyelids, labia minora, anus, and lips. The male prepuce, also provides adequate mucosa and skin to cover the entire penis during erection. Next is the testes. The testes are responsible for making testosterone, the primary male sex hormones, and for producing sperm. Within the testes are coiled mass of tube called seminiferous tubules. These tubules are responsible for producing the sperm cells through a process called spermatogenesis. Next to it, the scrotum. Scrotum is the loose pouch-like sac of skin that hangs behind the penis. It contains the testicles, also known as testes, as well as many nerves and blood vessels. The scrotum has a protective function that acts as a climate control system for the testes. Next is the anus. The anus is the last part of the digestive tract. It is a 2-inch long canal consisting of the pelvic floor muscles and the two anal sprinters, internal and external. The lining of the upper anus is able to detect rectal contents. It lets you know whether the contents are liquid, gas, or solid. Prostate. The prostate's most important function is the production of a fluid that, together with the sperm cell from the testicles and fluids from the other glands, make up semen. The muscles of the prostate also ensures that the semen is forcefully pressed into the urethra and then expelled outwards during ejaculation. Lastly is the epididymis. The epididymis consists of three parts: head, body, and tail. The head of the epididymis is located on superior pole of the testis. It stores sperm for maturation. The body of the epididymis is a highly convoluted duct which connects the head to the tail of the epididymis. Sperm matures in this section of the epididymis. The tail of epididymis is continuous with the deferent duct. The deferent duct is excretory duct of the testes, which join the excretory duct of the seminal vesicle to form the ejaculatory duct. And that is for the male reproductive system of a goat.
Are the parts of the reproductive system of a sheep. Seminal vesicle. Seminal vesicle are two small glands that store and produce the majority of fluid that make up semen. During ejaculation, the fluid from the seminal vesicle is expelled into the ejaculatory duct, where it can then move on to mix with the sperm and other reproductive fluids. The ampulla. The ampulla act as a storage chambers for semen and contribute secretion to it. The bladder. The bladder is the organ of the urinary system. It can accommodate up to 400 to 600 ml of urine in healthy adults. Penis. The function of the penis is to provide a means of urination and sexual function. The penis contains the penile urethra, that is a tube that transports urine and semen out of the tip of the penis. Testes. The testes are oval organs about the size of very large olives that lie in the scrotum, secured at either end by a structure called the spermatic cord. The testes are responsible for making testosterone, the primary male sex hormones, and producing sperm. The scrotum. The scrotum is the loose pouch-like sac of skin that hangs behind the penis. It contains the testicles. The scrotum has protective function and acts as a climate control system of the testes. Prostate. The most important function of prostate is the production of fluid that, together with the sperm cells from the testicles and fluid from other glands, makes up semen.
Now let us move on to the male reproductive system of a chicken. There are 8 different parts in the male reproductive system of a chicken. First is vas deferens. The ductus deferens, also known as the vas deferens, is a tiny muscular tube in the male reproductive system that carries sperm from the epididymis to the ejaculatory duct. There is a pair of these ducts in the male body, with one duct carrying sperm from each testis to the left and right ejaculatory ducts. The next one is testicles. Testicles or testes. The testes are the oval organ about the size of a very large olives that lie in the scrotum, secured and at either end by the structure called the spermatic cord. Most men have 2 testes. The testes are responsible for making testosterone, the primary male sex hormone, and for producing sperm. And next is the cloaca. A cloaca is an orifice through which urine and feces are eliminated in birds, reptiles, amphibians, and a few branches of a mammal family tree. It also serves as a reproductive function like a vagina in female and of this species, and also perform the function of sperm ejaculation in male of some species. Next is the rectum. The rectum is a straight 8-inch chamber that connects the colon to the anus. The rectum's job is to receive stool from the colon, lets you know that there is a stool to be evacuated or pooped out, and to hold the stool until evacuation happens. Next to that is the kidney. The kidneys have many functions. They principally act to remove waste products from the bloodstream, regulate the level of certain essential minerals such as potassium and sodium, and conserve water, and produce urine. Next is the ureter. The ureter is the tube that carries urine from the kidney to the urinary bladder. There are 2 ureter. The one is attached to each kidney. The upper half of the ureter is located in the abdomen, and in the lower half is located in the pelvic area. Also, next is the intestine. As in the other animals, the small intestine plays an important role in nutrient absorption, while the large intestine aids the elimination of waste. Lastly is the seminal vesicle. The seminal vesicle glands are an androgen-dependent organ that secretes a significant fraction of the fluid that eventually become a semen or a semen fluid. In the most species, the major contributor to semen volume is provided by the seminal vesicle glands. And that is for the male reproductive system of a chicken.